classroom management program. We are excited to have this in our district, and we hope that you love it as much as we do. To get to Class Dojo, you're going to go to classdojo.com, and there you can log in. Once there, you will have a few options to choose from. You will see that there is a demo class so that you can work with that to practice with. You will also be able to add your students that are in your class currently to this list. The great thing about Class Dojo is that if a student's teacher, say next year, uses Class Dojo, that information will follow the student. You do have some resources here and some different ways to learn and get support from Class Dojo. Let's dive right into the demo class here. So this is what your class is going to look like, but it would have your students, of course. So up here, we have across the top are different ways to message and share information with your students and families. One of the greatest parts of Class Dojo is that it is you are able to share with your families in the classroom. You can take a picture and share that with, on your class story, things like that. And all of this is safe for our students. You also have in the class itself some different options down at the bottom to help with that student engagement. I am going to go across the top first, and then we'll talk about the tools at the bottom. So your classroom here, you have your whole class, and then you have each of the students in your class here. You can, when you're ready, you can create your class. You'll name your class so that when you log in, you'll see your class name. If you have more than one class, you would probably want to make sure that there is some differentiation there. Your class story is where you're going to put information, the things that are going on in your class. This is kind of like your class social media, and you can upload things, do events, different things like that for your parents. Your messages are going to be just like an email message, and you can connect with parents. You can send this out to all parents or just certain students or parents. And you can schedule these messages during the day or at certain times so that this goes out when you want it to. You can also calendar events. So let's say you have a field trip coming up and you want all of your families to know about it. This is where you would put that. And then there's some activity islands that you can have assigned to your kids so that they can play with that either in the day. Maybe they earn it as a part of their class points, or they can do it at home with the code. Going back to the classroom, here is where you're going to see some of the important things here. Your toolkit is going to show you different options here for some directions or to random select a student. It gives you a timer. Your group maker has one special feature on it that I really like, and that is don't group together. So when I do that, I can choose students. And I know that Bradley and Johnny are just not getting along this week. So I can name the group. I can say these two just can't get along. And then I can create the groups from there. So that's a really great feature in Toolkit. Attendance, you could take attendance from here. Of course, remember to always take it in PowerSchool as well. But this would be to just know maybe a student came halfway through the day or something like that. Select multiple. So if I'm giving points, this is a reward system. If I'm giving points, I can go in here and I can select multiple students to get a point because maybe they as a group did, cleaned up the floor or helped with the PE equipment, something like that. So I can give them all points at the same time. I can do a random point to somebody. So let's say everybody was working hard and I just randomly wanted to give the class a point. I can use the timer here, which is great. I can go into portfolios, and a portfolio would be like an activity that you would give to the whole class. And right here, I would label it, I would give them instructions, and I would say, hey, video yourself telling me about what went well today. And that was just one example. And then that just gives your kids a way to go back and look at some of those things. The next one on here is big ideas. Big ideas helps with some growth mindset and some different things like that. So there's some conundrums where the students have to figure out or talk about a problem. And then you've got some other things here. And these are all activities that you can assign, and you can share with your parents. Just some great ways that your kids can understand some hard topics sometimes. So that's how you would assign points. If I just wanted to give a student a point, I go in, I can say to give a positive point, or I can do a needs work point. I can add different things. So maybe I need to add one that says out of area. So they're not in the area that they're supposed to be in. Or I could add another positive that said, working in groups well, something like that. Anyway, think about your PBIS and your reward system and how that's going. It could be a school system, it could be a classroom system, it could be just, one-on-one for some of those kids. But once they're awarded a point for whatever reason, you can go back in here and you can redeem their points. Okay. Let's say you messed up and need to erase everybody's points. You can go to options and you can go to reset points. I probably wouldn't do that very often, but it's there if you need it. You can also add co-teachers here. So let's say maybe you need to add the PE teacher or the librarian or a SPED teacher. That is a great way right there. You can view reports, and viewing reports is awesome because you can see that who has points, what they received those points for, different things like that. So there are some great things under options. This is also where you would invite your families to be part of this. In your personal settings up here in the account settings, you can do some quiet hours for messaging so that your parents aren't trying to message you throughout the night and things like that. So that's a quick run through of Class Dojo. The DT&L department would be happy to come and show you more if you're interested, but I think you're going to love this tool for classroom management, but also just to have some fun.